my foot on the pavement. In my dream I was chasing, while my girl waited patient. Spent a lifetime on this music shit, going nowhere, I was losing it. She was right there enduring this, while her folks like, why she doing this? But Shawty didn't care what nobody said. She was gonna ride to the day I'm dead, stay by my side when the others fled. So I'm convinced that she deserves it all. She believed in me when chances were real small. I picture me driving a foreign. Shawty, she riding the passenger side. Yeah, 3 in the morning, holding her head up, yeah. There from the beginning, there from the beginning. Oh, she was there from the beginning, yeah. Baby, you were there from the beginning. Shawty my ride or die, and she is my reason why I keep on grinding to buy her expensive things that money can buy. Her beauty represents me well, she loves me and others can tell. Her heart is where my love would dwell. Talk about her man and she would rebel. I ain't ashamed, this ain't a game. She was right there in the storm and the rain, endure the pain and the financial strain. Now she gon' shine with the fortune and fame. She gambled her life for me, she sacrificed for me. She deserves it all, it's only right you see. No matter the price you see, I picture me driving a foreign. Picture me driving a foreign, now my history is changing. She's my day one and there is no rearranging. She's had my back through the times when things were straining. Now she benefits from every cent I'm gaining. Listen to what I'm saying. No dividing, no compromising. She gon' ride while I keep on climbing. Just recognize we gon' keep on thriving. She believed that I'll see greatness in due timing. I picture me driving a foreign. Shawty, she riding the passenger side. 3 in the morning, 3 in the morning. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She was there from the beginning. She was there in the beginning. There in the beginning. He took me driving in the beginning. A foreign with my lady. Foreign. Yeah. Why they so jealous? Natural. DT 702. Then I guess you got it like that. Dick in the thighs and that ass so fat. They hate it when you get attention. When you walk by they don't say nothing. They jealous. They be jealous. Them fools they so jealous. They be jealous. Turn heads when she walk in. Superstar paparazzi start flocking. As the beat starts knocking, shorty hit the dance floor, ass start dropping. She's truly independent. She's grinding and she's winning. The other girls pretending, not stopping till she finished. She ain't got no man unless you got them bands. Why these hoes be hating the drama they're creating?
Hey, what's up, y'all? This is your brother Malik Truth coming to you live from BU Network. I want to thank y'all for joining me this evening. I want to thank God first and foremost for giving me the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to be able to give you guys the content that you deserve, to be able to awaken in you some enlightenment and some self-worth, some things that's going to help you to become better tonight so that you can meditate on it throughout the night and be even better tomorrow. How about that? So should the Lord give us another day, I want you to be better tomorrow, right along with me. You could have been anywhere else tonight, but you chose to hang out with your brother for a spell, and I thank you for that. I want to thank God for Natrel.com for allowing us to have this platform, and this platform is an awesome platform because it gives us and my radio show colleagues an opportunity to express ourselves and to impart to you the things that we know that make our lives better, and hopefully they can also make your life better as well. Tonight I have with me a wonderful and very, very, very special guest, and I'm going to get into that momentarily. But I wanted to let y'all know, did y'all know that your brother Malik Truth is also a singer as well? And I'm going to be joined, and actually I am involved in the contest to be an opener for the summer Breeze Fest that's in California, where we'll be featuring 112, be featuring Adina Howard, Montel Jordan, John B, Next, Drew Hill, and to be able to open for them would be fantastic. So I would love for you guys to vote for a brother. And how you vote for me is we're going to put up a video first off, and then we're going to put up the link in which you can actually go to. So you actually want to go to Chef Ray's page. Basically, it's Rena Harriston, Rena Harriston, Hairston. And there you will find my video in which you can view, like, comment, and share. So I'm going to go ahead and show y'all my entry. You see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. All right, y'all. What's up, y'all? All right, y'all. That was my entry. I hope y'all like that. I tried to add a little bit of R&B flavor to that national anthem. I hope y'all enjoyed that. And that is my entry. And of course, you know, when I hit that stage, you know, I plan on doing I plan on lighting it up. So help me get on that California stage, y'all. This will be a dream come true to be able to perform in front of 9,000 people and to share that talent with people. Now, a lot of you folks know that I have author talents. I have writing ability. So my book here is a bestseller. It's Design, Date, and Purpose. And this book is changing lives across the country. It is helping people to be able to find that buried hurt, pain, and trauma and learn how to deal with it, heal from it, and have better dating relationships. So I want to thank y'all for listening to that. Go vote for me. Share the video, like the video, comment on it. Again, you can find it on my page if you're my friend, or you can go to Rena Harrison's page and check out all the entries there, but definitely don't scroll past mine. Like I said, I have a wonderful guest with me today. And the older we get, y'all, there are things in our lives that become what I like to call deferred. We take detours in our life because of some of the failures, traumas that occur in our lives, and the challenges in our lives. They kind of cause us to put a lot of those dreams that we had when we were growing up, and we defer them. I want to let you guys know, to whoever out there under the sound of my voice that has had dreams and desires and visions for themselves, and that vision kind of dimmed, those dreams kind of dimmed, and those desires kind of faded a little bit. It's just a deferment. Deferment means you can always get it back. I want to encourage you that whatever it is in your heart's desires, it is never too late to be great. And that is the title of my show this evening. It's never too late to be great, because when we look back over our lives, there are so many things that we see, and the majority of the things that we have been programmed to see are the negatives and emphasis on the failures. Failures are going to happen, y'all, but it is what we do with those failures and how we learn from those failures on what not to do moving forward and what to do moving forward, in which our greatness comes out. Tonight I have with me a very talented sister. Her name is Miss Peaches. I want y'all to help me welcome her. Miss Peaches, what's going on, sister?
Everything but too much of nothing. How you doing tonight?
Everything but too much of nothing. All right. Well, I am doing wonderful, as you know, sister. I am doing very, very wonderful. And I think the people are going to get a tremendous, tremendous healing tonight because of what you have to tell them. And I'm going to start off a little bit light. You know, we're gonna start off with that general question. Tell the people who you are.
Well, I was born Johnny, but I'm kind of confused as to who I am at this point. I'm
Okay.
Miss Peaches, and Peaches is from South Central. Peaches is rough. Peaches is kind of tough. Peaches don't take nobody's mess. Peaches has dealt with a lot of shit. But then I'm Johnny too, and Johnny is really compassionate and kind-hearted, and I love my grandkids, and I love my friends, and I love my family.
Yes.
And then I have my alter ego that I like to refer to as Stormy Weathers. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, Stormy Weathers. Yeah.
Storm. Okay, so let's take us through Miss Peaches. Is Miss Peaches the entertainer and the writer and the entrepreneur?
Absolutely.
Tell us about Miss Peaches.
Has learned to take her bad and turn it into a good. Miss Peaches started her business this time.
All right.
When I came home from prison, let's just say my life has led me into a lot of places, and prison is one of those places. But this time in prison, I learned a lot of things. I was able to go to school, so I learned about business. And I already had like a business mentality, like a hustler's mind, because I've been selling drugs since I was 14. So I know how to make money, and I know how to make a business, and I know how to run a shop, and I know how to do all of these things, but I didn't know how to do it the right way,
That's key.
legal way,
Yes, ma'am.
the corporate way,
Yes, ma'am.
the intelligent way, like the smart way.
Yes, ma'am.
You know what I'm saying? And I learned these things this last time at 50 years old. And it took to be 50 years old for me to finally get it. 4 prison terms, a lot of heartaches, a lot of deaths, a lot of bullshit
Right.
for me to get it.
Right. And when we talk about the other alter personality, which is Stormy Weather, introduce us to Stormy Weather and what she's about, and how we need to stay away from her if we need be, and how we need to befriend her if we need.
Yeah, Stormy Weathers is the violent me, the person I had to be.
Right.
I grew up in South Central LA. You either the hunter or the prey. You know what I'm saying? In every aspect.
There's a song on the old, I guess, what was it, Boys in the Hood soundtrack? Ice Cube, or one of them made it said "How to Survive in South Central," a place where busting a cap is fundamental.
Absolutely.
Tell us
That's something
about
that
your
you have to
experience.
learn off very quick.
Right.
You either gonna survive or you're not. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? And I grew up on 81st and Hoover in South Central Los Angeles.
Right.
And the time that I grew up on 81st and Hoover is the time where people didn't want to catch the bus on
Right.
Hoover.
Right.
Where I would meet guys and they'd be like, "Where you live?" And I said, "Oh, no, I can't go over there.
Right.
I'm not taking you over there." That was that era. I grew up
Wow.
in the 80s in South Central.
And you know what? I think Ice Cube made a song on that about project chicks where she fine as heck, but she always live in the project. Why is it always the fine sisters that live in the projects, and where dudes know that dang she fine, but dang I got to go to the projects and pick up. I might get robbed. I might get this. I might get that. Not knowing that. Most of the times when the sister is in a project, she's connected.
But
with
see,
the
that's the
people who can
difference
and
with me.
can't, you know.
I grew up in the set, not the project.
Okay, you grew up in okay.
And you see what I'm saying? I didn't grow up in no projects, no anything like that. I didn't
Right.
come from that. My mother had a job. She worked.
Right.
She was a supervisor for the Airport Park Hotel.
Wow.
And then
Okay.
crack cocaine came.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
So tell us about that, because I tell you one thing about a conversation is that it can definitely go all over the place, and when you have something already scripted and written, I tell you got to try to come back to it, because everything will come out. So I want to try to maintain this and give people something to like wow, okay. So let me ask you this, okay. First of all, do you have any brothers or sisters?
I do.
Okay.
I have 2 biological sisters.
Mm-hmm.
One sister that my mother was in the process of adopting before that whole series took
Right.
place. And then I have my brother that just passed away, who is not my biological brother, but the only brother that I ever
known.
If I had a brother, it would be him. Like, if, you know what I'm saying? He's been in
Yes.
my life since I was 13.
Okay.
My sister has kids by him.
Right.
He's my brother.
Absolutely. And I would say your relationship, with the people you grew up to know as your siblings. What was that relationship like?
It was always competition. It was competitive. And I think it was because my mom put more on. I would say because my dad wasn't around, my mother showed me more love.
I see.
You see?
Yes.
My mom and dad was married, but my mom and dad was separated.
Okay.
And because my dad wasn't around, she favored me a lot. And then my sisters are twins, and it was always fighting. It was violent fights. It was my mother come home from work and I would get beatings because that's how much I done tripped out in the house with my siblings.
Okay. So you was that getting into trouble all the time kind of child?
Not even.
No.
But I was that, you can't do anything to me. Don't touch my stuff. You can't say anything to me. It's a certain way you talk to me.
Wow. Okay.
I was that person.
Yes.
Don't jump in my face. Don't point
Right.
your finger at me.
Right.
Like,
Oh.
I always felt a
Yes.
certain type of way about all those type of things. And then once I learned my strength and that I could fight, I took it to the extreme. You know what I'm saying?
I see. And that, you know what, children need guidance when they find their superpower, when they find their strength. A lot of children need that guidance to learn how to use that strength. Now, you and I spoke at length
Right.
before, we both agreed to meet and conversate on this platform. And one thing that I liked about, what you told me is everything resounded resilience. That you had this resilient spirit. No matter what it was that you went through, you had this resilient, spirit about you. So when we look at your home life, could you describe to us, what was your home environment like? Was it full of love?
I
Was it
want to say my
arguments?
mom. I want to say this first and foremost. My mom took very good care of us. She loved us. She did anything for me and my sisters.
Right.
But then she got addicted to cocaine,
Wow.
and that changed the type of mother she was. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. I like.
Far as
Yeah. People need to hear that.
the things that she cared about wasn't that important
Right.
when she started smoking cocaine.
Right.
Keeping the house clean wasn't that important when she started getting high.
Yes.
Going to work every day wasn't that important when she started getting high.
Yes.
Paying the bills every day wasn't that important
Come
when
on,
she
talk
started
about it.
getting high.
Talk about
Making
it,
sure that her daughters, her 3 daughters, that she moved into this neighborhood
Yes.
was protected,
Yes.
because we was moved into a neighborhood at a young age. Mind you, we came from Oklahoma. We was thick, brown skin, long, natural curly hair,
Oh, yeah.
big butts, and we moved into a neighborhood and we the new girls.
Oh yes.
So all the niggas want to fuck with the new girls and all the girls wanted to fight us. So
Yes.
it was, we got to do what we got to do.
Come
And
on
remember,
now.
we
Come
moved on
talk about
81st
that.
and Hoover.
Come on, talk about
So it's either, and I'm the big sister. And my sister started shit. She was messy. So she would go out there and just talk,
Right, right.
talk, and run up in the yard. And now
So
I got
for
to
big
fight.
sister, you got to fight. Come
Yeah,
on now.
so I
How many of y'all?
started fighting.
How many of y'all out there, had little brothers and sisters that always started mess?
Right.
And as soon as that mess was started,
Right.
you got to finish it. How many of y'all out there got that? Had that situation before? That is crazy. That
And
is
then I
totally
learned how to
crazy.
fight really good.
Right.
And-
So now, because you had everybody
I didn't
coming
have
up
no
in your
choice.
face.
I didn't have no choice. And then I'm 5'2" of nothing.
Right.
So it was always the little one. They always picked me. I didn't understand, like, why all these people out here, you want to pick me.
Right. I like that because that remind me of my cousins and them. I have several cousins out here, and they grew up in LA. And the stories that they used to tell me when I was a teenager, because I was reintroduced to them when I was about 16, and they came to Massachusetts. And they told me all these stories, and everything that we watched on the movie Colors, they lived. And so indirectly I understand, from their stories how rough, it was, from being shot at to being in the middle of gunfire, to going to school with celebrities, to going to school with the top-ranked gangbangers and drug dealers.
Right.
What was that like for you going to school?
Gunfire don't even scare me now. I hear bullets and I'm looking to see what direction it comes. People's normal reaction is to run, to duck, to jump.
Right.
I'm used to it.
Right.
It's not it don't scare me. It's not like I'm used to it. I'm numb to death. I'll say this. I lost my best friend to cancer, and that was harder for me.
Right.
If I had lost her to a gunshot, I would have been able to accept that
Wow.
and grieve that faster, because that's the type of death that I'm used to.
Wow. That's.
You know what I'm saying?
Talk about it.
Natural death is abnormal to me. I'm not used to nobody dying
Right.
from cancer, like
Right.
my friend who died at my home once I took care of her.
Right.
I'm not used to that. That destroyed me. Had she got shot and killed, I could have grieved that much faster and
Wow.
processed that, because that's the type of death that I'm used to.
Wow. And isn't that something, y'all? And again, our environment, it falls into that age-old argument in psychology and sociology, nature versus nurture. And a lot of times our environment is what, brings us up, is what nurtures us, especially when we have parents who have gotten involved in things that takes them away from their parenting duties.
Absolutely.
And we're left to our own devices, the streets, and whomever else might socialize us, bring us up. And what's deep about what you just said is that, that type of death, that coming from someone taking someone's life, became your normal.
Absolutely.
Rather than someone dying of cancer or of any type of physical ailment.
Right.
And that's the deep part. Now you mentioned that your mom was working for an airport, you said?
She worked for the Airport Park Hotel when it was next door to the Forum, when the Lakers played the Forum.
Okay.
And that's what actually brought us from Oklahoma to Los Angeles. and she had someone rent her this house.
Mm-hmm.
And the house they rented her was on 81st and Hoover, 828 West 81st Street.
81st
And
Hoover.
our life changed quickly
For the
and
good or for the
dressed
bad?
for the worse.
For the worst. Wow.
Because I don't know how to explain, like, the stuff. It happened so fast. It was just like boom, 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 boom. Serious
Right.
events. We moved there. We started going to school.
Right.
Shit started happening. We fighting every day.
Right.
We going through the things that the other girls in this neighborhood is going through that we was not aware of that
Right.
was happening. And I mean, every neighborhood got little dirty secrets.
Right.
Let's say
Oh,
that.
yeah. Come
Like
on now.
families.
Yes.
So we was going through that type of stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
then my mom got on drugs. So that made it even worse because when you were living in, especially in the 80s, that was the Freeway Rick era. That was
Okay.
when crack first hit
Freeway
the
Rick,
streets.
yes.
That's when it was just outrageous. That's when it was designed to do exactly what it did, and that was destroy us.
Destroy. Yes.
And it did exactly that.
Yes. it
So when you like that, and then like I said, you a little girl,
did. Mhm.
and you shaped like an adult woman, and then now you have grown men, they selling drugs and they doing this and they doing that, and they chasing you and they coming after you.
Absolutely.
And now you have your mother who's addicted to crack, and they
Absolutely.
know that, so they see that a way in, a opening.
Absolutely.
You
Now
know?
talk to the people when you're talking. Talk to the people.
Oh,
and
these-
them,
let-
yeah, let them know so that they can feel this. So when you were being looked upon, you know, out through the lustful eyes of a grown ass man, how old were you again? Tell the people how old you were again.
I was probably 13 and a half, 14.
13 and a half, 14 years old.
Absolutely.
And fellas, if you from the South, you know, or from LA, you know that when we were kids, we went to school with girls who wore bras and girls who were built like women. But it is not an invitation for grown men to do their business with them. And it is unfortunate. So when you were being catcalled and flirted with by older men, how
And
did
grabbed.
that make you feel?
You
And-
walk
and
down the
grabbed.
street and somebody just
Grab
take
your
a
butt.
handful of your ass, a
Right.
grown man.
A grown
You
man.
scared, first of all.
Right.
I don't know you guys. I just moved here. When we moved there, it was the end of the summer, and then school started. And my mom worked. Now we have to walk to school every day. And walking to school every day is a problem. Because the liquor stores are on every corner, and they're open at 8 o'clock. And the guys is out there, and they're already drinking their 8-ball, and it's drug addicts, and everybody's doing their business on the same path that we walk to school
Right.
every day. So you're always around something. You're always in something, and then it's us. It's me and my sisters. And
Right.
here we come.
So
we the new
when-
girls.
So when they make these movies and they feature like South Central Los Angeles and there's alcoholics or people selling drugs or doing drugs in front of these corner stores, they're not exaggerating, are they?
Absolutely not. But it's worse. The TV make it look good. A lot of people think that what they see on TV, okay, you know, the TV makes South Central look like a cakewalk. That's why people try to imitate and duplicate what they see in these movies. But we live in that shit.
Right.
We live in that shit. Look at my tattoos. I remember one time when I was in prison and they were trying to call me a sociopath because I was doing a lot of fighting.
Right.
And they would ask me about certain things and my response. And they were like, well, she don't have no remorse or she don't even care about the things she's doing. So she can't. They were basically saying she's a sociopath. There's nothing
Wow.
else we can do about this.
Isn't that something?
And the lady, one of the
At
things
the
she
age of
said,
13, they trying to label our sisters a sociopath, huh?
and one of the things she said was all of this stuff
Right.
was self-mutilation, and these were the things that I was
Wow.
doing because so
Wow.
listening to diagnosis and then living through stuff and then people trying to put you on medication,
Right.
then self-medicating, but at the same time I still got to take care of my sisters because now my mother's a drug addict.
Right.
And my sisters is going to school and we don't have a house no more. We live at the New Bay Motel.
Right.
And
Wow,
I'm
the
living
New Bay Motel. They
on
showed that.
Figueroa.
Go ahead, talk about that.
On Figueroa.
Figueroa,
Because-
yup.
Yeah, and me and my sisters lived there, and I lived in room 6, and they lived in room 10. And I sold drugs to all the prostitutes so that my sisters can have somewhere to live.
Right.
And
Now,
I
how
knew
old were you
every
then when you were
hoe
doing that?
Up Fig, I knew every hoe from Florence to Manchester on Figueroa, and they knew me.
Right.
They knew Mary's kids.
Wow. Now, how old were you when you were when
From
you first started? 16.
16, and I was too young to rent an apartment.
Right.
So the guy at the New Bay Motel, you know, he rented the prostitutes, the kids, the gangbangers, the drug dealers. As
Right.
long as he's getting his money every day, it was fine. So I could rent a room for me and my sisters at
Exactly.
16.
Exactly.
And I
Wow.
kept the traffic coming there. The prostitutes would rent the rooms at the hourly rates, and they would buy the crack from me. And so it
What?
kept business going in his building. So he didn't have a problem with me living there and my sisters living there. And then,
Whoa.
hell, they would fix food, and we would eat Indian food with the Indian people and everything because we kept business. And I was good for business
Right.
because I kept things going, and I was making money.
So you did all of this organizing like a grown person, like a grown woman would be doing
Yeah.
at 16, organizing an entire operation for the hoes
For
and
me,
to making
my
sure you're supplying
sisters.
them
Yeah.
to take care of your siblings.
Yeah.
Now, where was your mother in all of this?
My mom was out there with the hoes up and down Fig at this point,
Right.
not working anymore, prostituting herself, smoking crack.
Mm.
I would, it was really something. Like, I went through some stuff. She would get dope from credit from different homeboys, and then they would beat her up. Then I would have to go out there, and I mean, I done bust heads. I done behind her drugs. So I would just rent her a room, give her a quarter piece, buy her cigarettes, buy her soda, just do whatever I could do to keep her in the room so she wouldn't prostitute.
Yes.
So she wouldn't keep me in no shit because
Right.
still that's my mama.
Right.
And even though she's
Right.
smoking dope and even
Right.
though she out here, I'm not going to let you do whatever you want to do to my mama. That's my
Yes.
mama.
That's right.
And at this
That's
time
right.
now, I'm Lil Peaches and I'm from Hoover.
Right.
And I'm just like y'all because y'all made me this way. You turned me into this animal,
Yeah.
basically.
Pretty much. Now, when you and I were talking on the phone, and I got to tell y'all, we may have talked for almost 3 hours because it was just when you meet that kindred spirit, y'all, and you know that there is a spirit of resilience and triumph. You just connect. And when we were talking, she was telling me about you know, how she got into a gang, and how most women are actually jumped. Well, some women are jumped in, but most women are gang banged in. And she's like, nah. So I want you to talk about that. You don't have to mention the set that you was in unless you feel
I
comfortable
mean,
doing that.
it's a lot of people. It's crazy because, like, with the things that I'm doing now, even with the music, with the people that I'm surrounded, I'm from Hoover. The world's gonna know I'm from Hoover. That's part of me. That's who I am. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not ashamed of anything that I've done, anything that I am. Like, all of that made me the person that I am.
Right.
I learned some stuff, and I went through some stuff.
Right.
Whatever crimes I did, trust me, I did my penitentiary time, and I'm off parole. So I don't feel ashamed for anything
Right.
that I've done. I'm
'Cause
from Hoover.
those things help you.
And where I come from in the set, it's not really too much of they fuck you on the set. See, that happens later on.
Right.
You from the set, so it's like your property. You're gonna get fucked whether you want to or not.
Right.
That's the different thing.
That's
where
the-
I'm from,
yeah.
my homies always felt like we don't need to fuck you on the set. We need you to be like us. We
Right.
need you to be violent.
Right.
If you know anything about the set in Los Angeles, women that gang bang in LA is just as violent as men.
Yeah.
They in jail for murder. They doing life just like men. So we don't need you
Right.
for sex.
Right.
We need you to get active. And that's just how it is when
Exactly.
the era that I was growing up in. And I know they hear a lot of that, but I'm gonna keep it real. That happens a lot in those Mexican gangs. That happens a
Right.
lot on TV.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen where I came from.
Right.
It was no, we don't
Right.
need you for that. We need what you need to do is put this gun in your hand. What you better do is be ready to do what you need to do
Ready-
when the
ready to
time
put in
comes.
some work
So
when we
all
need
of
you to
that
put in
stuff,
work.
that's a myth. That's bullshit. It
Right.
don't happen like that.
Right. For real. Now, at what age did you, you join 8 Trey Hoover?
Like 15 maybe.
At
Maybe
15?
after the first year of me being there, because
Wow.
it's you can't beat us, so you gonna join us. It's that.
Right.
It's that. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's like you live over here. You can't walk to the store every day.
Right.
Bitches gonna fuck you up. My sister got jumped Like I said, my mama worked when we first moved there.
Right.
We worked around a bunch of non-working mothers that was already on drugs. So we had the British Knights and the
Right.
CKs and the Lottos with the
Yeah, I
changing
remember
patches
them. I
and
remember
the
them.
feeler skirts and we had
Exactly.
that stuff.
The Sergio
that other
Tacchini.
kids, we had. Stop playing with me. We had that stuff that the other girls and stuff
Right.
didn't have, so we all
Right.
they wanted to fight. I remember some girls
Right.
jumped me and took my feeler coat, and
Wow.
that's when we learned that you know what, we can't just keep letting people do this. This our yard.
Right.
This our fence.
Absolutely.
You're not gonna come in this yard. Okay, now, and the more I started fighting, the more I went to the extreme.
Right.
Okay, so y'all want to join me? Okay, now I'm gonna pick up this stick and I'm gonna beat everybody in this yard with this stick.
Right.
It just elevated my violence. Elevated. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And a lot of times, you know, your story, and even and I told you on our phone conversation, sounds so much like my cousins and them, because when they moved into that type of neighborhood, you know, because their parents began to start doing drugs, and it just seems like a really bad trend that, you know, you move into that area, is like 7 out of 10 is going to get involved in the behaviors, you know, of that environment. And when your mom, she was this working class woman that was doing everything she could on the positive side for her mama, as a mama for her children, she was introduced to this environment and began assimilating into the environment instead of, you know, continuing on who she was. Now, when you and your sister, who introduced you to the idea of joining A-Train?
I think that somebody set designs on me like, okay, she's not no punk. She gonna fight. I had
No, hold. Let's backtrack. You used a term that I ain't heard in a long time. You said set designs on you. Tell them what that means.
that means that okay, so now I'm telling people I'm old as dirt. So when somebody said designs on you, that means they seeing you, they peeping you out, they watching your move and your get down, and they thinking about ways to manipulate you into doing the things that they need you to do.
Right.
And I didn't know that then because I was so into the reputation, the name. Everybody, oh shit, don't fuck with Peach. Yeah, man, y'all know I ain't
Right.
fucking with her. Y'all know she crazy.
Right.
Oh, shit, that bitch be down there getting money. I had one time
Right,
my homeboy,
right.
I had took him with me downtown because, you know, that was my spot, Skid Row.
Right.
That's where I made all my money
Yeah.
at. And he was like, we went back to the set and he was like, man, the homegirl a bad bitch.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, I'm
Right.
a bad bitch. Yeah, I'm a low. Yeah.
Exactly.
Y'all know I'm crazy.
Right.
That did something. That boosted me up.
Yes.
That made my self-esteem. Like, that's the type of shit that built my self-esteem,
Right.
not the right shit,
Right.
but how crazy I
The
can
negative
get.
things, because it was part of your environment pieces, and these are the things
Absolutely.
that boosts our self-esteem. I want to give some shout outs. Take a moment to give some shout outs. Shannon Butler, the sister that was just here. Shannon the Queen, she's a comedian. She's on the line. What's up, Shannon? Thank you for tuning in.
Hi, sister.
And we got our brother Brian Moore. He's a producer. His son is Red Vegas, talented kid. Then we have Nina Austin. She's actually a licensed therapist. I want you guys to hook up. And she's also an entrepreneur. She sells jewelry. I've actually bought a couple of her pieces as well. And Nina says all those physical assaults develop a type of fight or flight or freeze response. Becoming aggressive is an accepted response in the hood.
Right.
You can't walk around crying and scared. So sad for black girls.
Right.
And then she says she actually can relate to Sergio Tacchini. She said, "I still want Sergio Tacchini suit."
Oh,
that
man.
JJ Fad used to wear.
Man, JJ Fad, right? You could, and it's it's crazy because even with the type of, like, I was more the Ice Cube. I was I wanted to listen to that type of stuff.
Right.
I wanted to be like my homeboys. Like, I had my homeboy at 14 put my first gun in my hand, and I used it like 3 months after that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted to, because I had it, and I kept it in my backpack every day, and I walked to school with it, and I was just so excited. And I was so little, but I had this big ass 357, and I couldn't wait
to use it.
Exactly.
Now, you know the funny
that's
thing.
crazy.
The funny thing about environments, in the different environments that we grow up in, usually teenagers' first job is either fast food or retail. and yours was
selling drugs.
street retail.
And can I say that I had my first job when I was in a halfway house at 47, and you know what it was? And
Wow.
I'm really proud of my first
Come on
job.
now.
I was working at Nathan's at the New York, and I was
Right.
selling hot dogs. And I loved making people's hot dogs. And
Right.
it was just, I don't know what it was about selling those hot dogs. I was so proud of me,
Right.
and my sister was proud of me. And my sister was telling everybody, like, my sister been selling drugs her whole life. My sister got a job, like
Wow.
a real job, like my first job.
Talk about a new dynamic.
Like that was that was crazy, because that's
From
something that I
selling
would
drugs to
never
selling
do.
hot dogs.
That's something I would never do. Those $756 checks that I was getting every 2 weeks, because I started off making $10 an hour.
Right.
I was making that in like 30 minutes or something. When I
Right.
raided my house out here,
Exactly.
I was making that shit in less than 15 minutes, every 15 minutes.
Exactly.
So-
exactly.
Just getting it every 2 weeks, and I was excited, and I was kind of happy about that. And they would give me my $100 Walmart check,
Right.
and I would be so excited to go to Walmart and spend my $100 that I made selling hot dogs at Nathan's.
And
And
you
I
didn't
was
have to
proud
look
of
over your
myself.
shoulder. You didn't have to
was
look over your
proud.
shoulder.
Like, who's proud of selling hot dogs?
It's a respectable job. It's a job. It became a vocation that you no longer had to worry about losing your
Right.
freedom over.
Right.
And that was the good thing. And for me, y'all, that right there, that part right there, before we go to a break, really ties into the title of the show, Never Too Late to Be Great.
Right.
Because and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more, because that's why I had to have a part 2, because you got so much in your life going on. And it's a beautiful tragedy to triumph story.
Right.
And there's still so many things that the viewers don't know about that we're gonna talk to them. But we're gonna spoon feed them a little bit by little bit.
Right.
We're gonna baby spoon feed them a
You're
little
going
bit
to
by
have these
little
people
bit.
Googling my mess of a life.
Yeah, you know what? But it's a beautiful mess. It's a beautiful mess.
And that's who Stormy Weathers is.
Right.
Stormy Weathers is like me. I'm a
Right.
beautiful disaster.
A beautiful disaster.
I'm like
That's
Mother
beautiful.
Nature. Like, I'm a force to be reckoned with.
That
Like,
is so
the
beautiful.
Storm, I can bring the rain.
Right.
You don't want me to, but I can.
That's beautiful.
And that's how I always looked at myself, like a beautiful disaster.
Y'all hear that? Before we go to a break, I want y'all to let that drop in your spirit. A beautiful disaster. We'll be right back. Stay tuned, because we're gonna talk a little bit about your music. Now, there's a
Absolutely.
track that I want to play as well. I love that track. You know, what
Thank
you gonna
you.
do when I?
And you know what's so funny? I'm going to tell you about that, because it's so funny.
Yeah, you should.
With this track, you know, I'm old now.
Right.
And I've been in prison, and a lot of stuff's been going on. I've been writing. I used to do shows. I have
Right.
opened up for Slick Rick,
Right.
Old Dirty Bastard. Like, I done some stuff.
Yeah.
But then I always sold drugs, so I always went to prison, and I don't go
Right.
for no little time. It's a lot of time out of my life.
Right.
So now that I'm here and it's 2021, everybody talking gang, and all of this
Gang,
stuff, and I'm
gang.
learning all these new terms. So I'm like, I got to write for everybody.
And what's the name of that? What's the name of that? As a matter of fact, y'all, we're gonna play that track while we're on break. What's the name of that? What's the name of that
The
track?
track is Bang on You.
Bang on you. What you gonna do
Absolutely.
when I bang on you? Yeah.
Oh,
all right.
On the Set is gonna be the title of. On the Set is the title of my project. Because it's the terminologies.
Right.
I'm about to be great, and I promise you, I put that on the set.
For sure. I'll
Everything.
put that on the set.
I put that on the set.
And that's like
I'm about to
that's
do
like
this.
saying word to God or for show.
Absolutely.
We put that on the set. So
Absolutely.
what we're gonna put on the set, we're gonna drop her song called
Bang,
"Bang
on You.
on You." It is so tight that y'all check this out, and we're gonna go to a break, and we're gonna come right back. Vibes.
I bang on you. Tell me what you gonna do if I pull this thing on you. Make it rain on you. That's just how I grew. Get me in the mood. I bang on you. Tell me what you gonna do if I pull this thing on you. Make it rain on you. That's just how I grow. Now you've been talking all this shit, saying what you gon' do with it. If you get the chance, see it. You gon' act a fool with it. You better bring your gun, 'cause I ain't gon' run. Show me where you from. Nigga, I put that on the set. I keep it soaking wet. This what you won't regret. You need your fucking vest, nigga. Show me where you hang. What set you claim. You wanna join my gang, nigga. I bang on you. Tell me what you gonna do if I pull this thing on you. Make it rain on you. That's just how I grew. Get me in the mood. I bang on you. Tell me what you gonna do if I pull this thing on you. Make it rain on you. That's just how I grew. You keep talking this and that. Tell me where to meet you at. Wonder if I feed you that. You don't keep it coming back. I'm about to spin your block, show you what I got, and that's how tops, nigga. I put that on the set. I keep you soaking wet. This what you won't regret. You need your fucking rest, nigga. Show me where you hang. What set you claim. You wanna join my gang, nigga. I bang on you. Tell me what you gonna do if I pull this thing on you. Make it rain on you. That's just how I grew. Get me in the mood. I bang on you. Tell me what you gonna do if I pull this thing on you. Make it rain on you. That's just how I grew. Screaming gang, gang. Tell me, can you handle that? Singing gang, gang. 'Cause that's just how I grew, nigga.
What's going on, y'all? Thank you so much for coming back with me, Malik Truth. Hey, and you are tuned into the Malik's Truth Show, where we are doing a show called Never Too Late to Be Great, and we are here with our sister, Ms. Peaches. And you have just heard her hot single called Bang on You. Tell me what you gonna do when I pull this thing on you.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
Now, you know what? That song is banging, and we got Nina Austin, who said that the song reminds her of World Class Wrecking Crew. What you got to say about that?
I love that because you know I'm old school and World Class Wrecking Crew, Dr. Dre, all of that. That's my era. That's my generation. And the music that I'm doing and I'm making is gonna take you to that era. To that.
Yes,
I'm just gonna keep it real. Music right now is bullshit.
Right.
It's not even too much. I don't know. I like J. Cole. I like Kendrick Lamar.
Right.
I like her. I like
Her
that.
is tight,
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Her is
like
bad.
I'm into the music, like what the music that I write when I'm writing and I'm feeling it. My son call it God music. And he say that's when I channel my inner Jill Scott and India Arie and Erykah Badu. I got a song, Hello, gonna kill him. And it's a different side of me. And people gonna be like, wait a minute, is that the same street gang banging girl that's singing this type of stuff? Like, it's so many dynamics to me because I done been through so much stuff, and then I learned so much stuff, and I've seen so much stuff, and I've done so much stuff, and I experienced so much stuff, and I've been around people that experience so much stuff. Like, so it's so many things that I want to give back and do for people. This time being in prison in Las Vegas, I met a lot of prostitutes.
Now, wasn't that your last stretch?
This is my last time going to prison.
That was
ever.
the 6.5 years, right?
And this is it.
Right. And like she said, she successfully completed her parole. So she ain't
Yes.
got nobody
For the
office
first
to
time
repeat
ever
to.
in my life, I'm off
no more
parole.
payments, no more nothing.
Nothing.
And she is emphatically free.
I'm free, and not only that, I can say this, and I can say this. I don't sell drugs anymore. I don't
Y'all
like,
better give-
and
y'all-
I done had it
look,
offered to
I
me
wanna-
through in my
wanna-
lap. I
wanna
don't
be
sell
able to
drugs
see
anymore.
y'all hand clap for that.
And
Nina,
I never ever thought that I would
I
be.
want to see hand
not
claps for
selling
that.
drugs
She
no
is
more.
not selling drugs no more.
I don't.
That's the triumph, y'all.
And what's crazy is I don't have the urge. I'm not gonna say I don't have the urge because I get this, like I was telling you. I don't go on the strip because that's a trigger for me.
Right.
When I'm on that strip, I don't see lights and flashing.
You see money.
Every tourist I see, that's 300. That's 12. 3 done passed. That's 1,200. I'm doing the math in my head. I get like a sickness in my stomach. My mouth start watering up. That's a trigger for me.
Right.
Like, I'm addicted to drugs. I'm addicted to drugs. And it's not that I use them. I sell them, and I'm addicted to the hand, and it's like a intuition I get. Like if the money is around and it's in I feel it. My mouth water, like I said, it's like a physical sickness that I have got, and it took me a long time to learn that I'm really addicted to drugs and
Right.
not using drugs,
But
selling
them.
drugs.
It's
And it's bad.
It's a high. I think Nina will back me up on this. After a while that we've done something, there is a chemical, and Nina, you can help us out with that. There is a chemical that is introduced to us. It's that feel good feeling, and I believe it's serotonin, right, Nina? And that's that feel good chemical that's in us. And a lot of things produces that. Gambling produces that. When people smoke cigarettes, that cessation, that triggers that. Sex triggers that. Running, exercising triggers these things. But everything has a tendency to trigger that feel-good thing. And these are the things that you identify with that made you feel like somebody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Made you feel like somebody. Now, when we look at that, in the last stretch that you did, which was here at Clark County Detention Center, right? And when you finally got out and you did your parole, at what you said at 47 and you're 50 now, so we going back to 2018 is when you finally.
When it kind of clicked to me when I got to
Talk
Casa
about that.
Grande.
Talk
See,
about
here's
that.
the thing. I always went to prison, and when I get out, like I go to Chowchilla, you get out, you get your 200 gate money, they put you on the bus, have a nice life. I've never been to prison where their mission is, if you want to get rehabilitated, if you want help, they're going to help you.
Right.
And I'm definitely going to say that I got that here in Nevada.
Right.
Now, I don't know about other stuff, but I will say that had I not went to prison here in Nevada and was able to go to fire camp and was able to go to Casa Grande, I would be selling drugs, probably in prison again, because I never had an opportunity to where I don't have to get out and get back what I lost.
Right.
I got out stable.
Right.
I got out ahead, actually.
Right. And that's
So
what I'm
I didn't
talking
have to
about.
get out. I would get out of Chowchilla. They would give me the 200 gay money. I would buy the $17 Greyhound ticket that would let me off on Skid Row. I would buy a quarter piece, and I would never make it home because I would hit that block, and I'm going to flip that quarter piece until
Right.
I need to be where I need to be, where I can go home and be good. And my
Exactly.
kids are good. And that was
Right.
every single time I hit the gate. I stopped at Skid Row, and before I went home, I done flipped. I'm going home with an ounce.
Right.
Because I done took $125 and flipped it so many times that
Right.
now I got an ounce.
Exactly.
And I'm back the next day.
Exactly.
And I'm back off to the races, and I never stopped. With going to prison here at Casa Grande, they have that like a transitional, you're still an inmate, but you're a community
Come on,
trustee.
tell
And
that.
I got my first job ever, and I worked at Nathan's. And I was talking to my counselor there, and I'm like, I got all of this because I'm really smart. And I'm really business. I know how to make $1 out of 15 cents. And I know how to run a business because I've been running drug spots since I was 16.
And
So-
I think that's a problem, Miss Peaches, with a lot of people's perspective, not putting it in its right place, because we have to understand that in order to be successful out in the streets, you have to set a goal. You have to set up and coordinate properly. You have to be able to have your contacts and your networks in place. See, all of this is done in that particular arena if you want to make money and also survive out there, right?
And I knew that because here's the thing, I'm a single mother. I got 5 kids and kids that's not mine biologically that I raised, and they've never been in a foster home.
Right.
And I've sold drugs their whole life.
Right.
But I had a system. I would drop my kids off at school. While they at school, I'm at Skid Row. When it's time to pick my kids up, I pick my kids up. I'm at home, I'm cooking dinner. We do homework, we go to sleep. When they go to bed, I'm on Skid Row. Before my kids wake up, I'm at home. We go to school, and I'm back on Skid Row. So it was like a job to me. I had a system.
So even though you did drugs, you
I never did
not
drugs.
did drugs. Even though you sold drugs, you did something your mother was not able to do for you guys after she began to be taken over by drugs, and that still continued to be the parent that you were supposed to be, despite the fact that you were out there.
I think because the shit that my mama put me through, and I think we're going to talk about a lot of that during the second half.
Second one, yeah.
But because of the shit that my mother put me through, it was always in me I didn't want my kids to have to go through shit. I didn't want my kids' lights turned off. I didn't want my kids getting talked about because now all of a sudden they wearing Pro Wings.
Right.
Y'all know Payless Pro Wings, and the kids talked about you.
I know
I didn't want my kids to go through that type of shit. Like, if your kids had it, I wanted my kids to have it.
Right.
So I feel like it was always my job to do that, especially when I started having these kids. And once I got to that point, all I knew how to do was sell drugs.
Right.
But my kids didn't grow up in South Central. My kids went to school in Westchester.
Wow.
In Santa Monica.
So you bust them.
And no, I moved into a 1-bedroom and paid $1,025 a month, and I put 2 sets of bunk beds in the room, and I put my 4 kids in the room, and I slept on the couch in the living room because I did not want my kids in
Growing
South
up
Central.
in the hood. There you
Period.
go. Come on, somebody. Y'all hear that?
So that's what I did.
That's triumph, y'all. That's triumph. So she learned. And at what age were you doing this?
I was doing that at 22. When I got
At
my first
22.
apartment, I was so excited. I was 18. I'm
Right.
finally at an age where I can get an apartment.
Right.
And my first apartment was on 97th in Vermont, and I knew from that point that I didn't want my kids to grow up.
I know that's right.
I
Now
just knew.
we are running out of time, but I think everybody who has tuned in, and I hope you've learned something. But like I said, our sister Miss Peach's life is so rich with triumph, but there's a lot of tragedy that occurred. I'm going to give you just a taste of what to expect for part 2 next week. So I want y'all guys to tune in. Alex, if you will, please, I want you to cue up that picture of just the man, in the orange jumpsuit. Miss Peaches, can you tell us who this man is?
This is Chester Turner, the Southside Slayer, the serial killer who raped and strangled my mother.
And this is a tragedy that many of us never, and hope to God, ever experience, where someone takes our parents' life. And we've run into many serial killers. Alice, go ahead and run the picture of him in the middle with his victims.
I know. I hate looking at him.
I know.
All of that just,
I know.
And it's crazy. Like,
I
at
know.
this age, my mama got killed in 92, but that just...
And these are just some of his victims, ranging from I think it was 1986 all the way through like the 2000s. This man was
Yes.
on a rampage. And go back to the other picture, Alex, the previous one with the ladies. And which one is Mary Edwards?
So if you go on the second row, it would be the third one. So she would be number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 on the picture.
Number 8 on the picture.
Is my mom.
And that part of the tragedy is something that really turns your life around, right, Miss Peaches?
Absolutely.
And when we come back next week, we're going to get into that part of her life. We're also going to get into the part of your life where your mother did something a parent is never expected to do with their female child.
Right.
And so I want you guys to tune in next week, where we will be discussing more of the Southside Slayer and one of his victims, our sister, Miss Mary, the late Miss Mary Edwards, the mother, the late great mother of our sister Peaches Edwards, Miss Peaches Edwards. And I thank you guys for joining us this evening. We've talked about so many things about this sister, and she has so many facets, so many triumphs, so many tragedies. But remember, she said that when she got a job at Nathan selling hot dogs, that was the best thing that happened to her, because she knew that she was on her way to becoming the person she knew she was always meant to be, outside of the person who developed in South Central selling drugs. You guys meet me and our sister Miss Peaches next week, where we'll be discussing more of what we just showed you. God is good. God is great. Miss Peaches, before we go, tell them how they can find you.
You can find me on YouTube at Miss Peaches, MZPCHZZZ. I'm thinking about doing some stuff there. You can find me on Twitter at Miss Peaches or Instagram at Miss Peaches. All of these
Amen.
places.
That's right. And I thank you guys. You guys already know who I am. I'm your brother Malik Truth. You could have been anywhere else this evening, but you decided to hang out with me and your sister Miss Peaches for a little while. Meet me back here with our sister next week, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Good night. God
Good
bless.
night.
Vibes.
I bang on you. Tell me what you gonna do if I pull this thing on you. Make it rain on you. That's just how I grew. Get me in the mood. I bang on you. Tell me what you gonna do if I pull this thing on you. Make it rain on you. That's just how I grow. Now you've been talking all this shit, saying what you gon' do with it. If you get the chance to it, you gon' act the fool with it. You better bring your gun, cause I ain't gon' run. Show me where you from, nigga. I put that on the set, I keep it soaking wet. This what you won't regret. You need your fucking vest, nigga. Show me where you hang, what set you claim. You wanna join my gang, nigga. I bang on you. Tell me what you gonna do if I pull this thing on you. Make it rain on you. That's just how I grew. Get me in the mood. I bang on you. Tell me what you gonna do if I pull this thing on you. Make it rain on you. That's just how I grew. You keep talking this and that. Tell me where to meet you at. Wonder if I feed you that. You don't keep it coming back. I'm about to spin your block, show you what I got. And that's how tough, nigga.